And for those of you that do not have any book questions, sorry, I thought this was up. If you do not have any book questions, you can go ahead and start on the handout that you picked up, which is basically a practice quiz. Now, I do need to give you just a touch of advice on the practice quiz, because some of it would be good for you to look at your notes, and some of it will trick you into thinking you know it a little bit better. So if you look at questions 1 and 2 on this practice quiz, they're asking you when can you use law of sines and when can you use law of cosines. We will ask you that on the quiz next class. If you do not, we will not provide that for you. We will be asking you that. So do not look at your notes to answers questions 1 and 2 and think that you know that, and you really don't. However, the formulas that you would need for questions 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it would be smart or a good idea for you to use the formulas on your notes, because we will print off on the actual quiz, the formulas are at the top. So you don't have to memorize law of sines, you don't have to memorize any of the 6 forms of law of cosines, you don't have to memorize any of the side angle side area formulas, you don't have to memorize the side area formula, Heron's formula. But you do need to know when to use law of sines and law of cosines. So basically you can use your notes on the practice quiz and get a realistic expectation of where you're at, except for questions 1 and 2. So please go ahead and start on that, except for those of you that have some book questions, since you were not able to finish that in class last time. I told you that I wanted you to try all of those so that you would know what you needed help with. What you got?
I don't have questions about things I can't do, but would it be fine if I just converted the minutes, but in the book it didn't? Would it be fine if I just wrote it
as a decimal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. That's what I would expect you to do. Okay, so no book questions? Okay, then that may make for a bit of a short period here, because this practice quiz shouldn't take too long. Of course, I want you guys to ask questions from it, but I do want you to have a chance to try all of them. So as we talked about, 1 and 2 are when to use law of sines, when to use law of cosines. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think 2 of those you need law of sines, 2 of those you need law of cosines. So I'll force you to see if you can actually use those. 7 and 8 are the 2 new area formulas, making sure you can use those. And 9 and 10, 2 application questions to give you an idea if you can apply it. Correctly. I do have the solutions to this practice quiz on my website, of course, so that you can make sure that you're doing it correctly. Number 4 has been a pretty common question today, just based on some people are not putting that in their calculator correctly, which is okay. That's what I want you to catch before it's the real quiz. And then finally, before I get out of your way and let you get some of this done, 2 things. If you finish, as you finish your practice quiz, I would suggest you turn in your book work and your practice quiz in the Google Classroom, just like we did last semester. I will still accept it for full points right before the quiz on Monday. But if you have it done and you've got some class time to turn it in, it's always a good idea. You never know if you will forget them or lose them, and that's the risk you're taking by not doing it that way. And then finally, it's been like a month at least probably since we've had a quiz, and you've got the weekend break, so it would be a good idea to write yourself some sort of reminder about the quiz. Should be an easier one. I think it's 30 points total, but if you forget about it and then you remember it as you come in the door, then of course you will not do as well as you could have if you spent a few minutes reviewing it. So okay, so I'm going to set a timer here, and 10-15 minutes from now I'll see if there's a few questions you have found from your practice quiz, and we'll do that a few times until you've got that completed. Actually, I will interrupt you real quick just to remind you that this is just the very short and sweet little section or unit, 30-point quiz, and then we'll move on from it. This isn't going to build into anything bigger. The whole purpose of this was to just make sure that you're familiar with it when you see it on the ACT. So.
Does this sharpener work?
It shouldn't.
I have.
checked after I did this, the first two ones. It was sometimes on this. Is that? I don't remember the specifics. Does this?
You should pick that one because it does work sometimes.
It's okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Just didn't know if the sometimes part was. Okay. It's not there.
Yep.
about 15 minutes, so has anyone found any from your practice quiz yet that you'd like me to discuss?
Could you do 4? Sorry, keep doing something.
Sure. Yeah, so 4 is the one that the other classes asked about today as well. So first thing I notice about a few of these questions is if it bugs you that there's not a picture, you could always just sketch a generic ABC triangle, and even better if you make it a little bit to scale. But ultimately, if you have side, 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 I know that that's going to be law of cosines. So to find angle A, if you look at the 6 formulas that we give you for law of cosines, the one that says cosine A equals is going to be the one you want to use. Now technically you can do inverse cosine at the end, but I like to do it right here at the beginning just so that I don't forget about that. And so then this would be what you would want to go plug into the calculator. But are you getting an error message when you type it in?
No,
Oh.
forgot the inverse cosine.
Oh, you think that's it? Okay. Because what I was going to say for most people is this. If you type it in right here like this, which is how it kind of looks on your paper, your calculator is not doing it the way you intend to because of order of operations. It does this exponent stuff first, then it would do this division, then this multiplication, then that multiplication, then this addition, and then this subtraction, which is not what you intend at all. In mathematics, anytime we have big fractions like this, it's assumed that we do all the numerator stuff together and then all the denominator stuff together and then divide at the end. So you should either put parentheses, like I did right here, parentheses around the numerator, parentheses around the denominator, and then that will give you the correct answer. And then right below it, I just moved some numbers around for angle B, because the formula for angle B is basically the same thing, just the side lengths are in a slightly different spot, so that's where I got that answer. And if you don't like to do the parentheses around the numerator and denominator, do you know how to get your calculator to make it look like this? Some people prefer that. If you do alpha y equals option 1, you can do it like this and you don't have to do the parentheses. But if you are not doing that and you are not putting parentheses where they're supposed to be and your calculator thinks you intend something else, then you will miss some points that you would have otherwise gotten. Now, of course, like all of our assessments, I would give you some partial credit, but still, you don't want to give away any points for something as easy to fix as that. Okay, I will come back and bug you again in another 10 or 15 minutes, but of course you guys are welcome to speak up before then if you find something. Sure. I would just put a star by whatever you had to look up so that you remember to review it before the quiz. It's not a real assessment, it's just, sometimes if you use your notes too much, you'll trick yourself into thinking you know it better than you really do. That's the only thing you gotta be careful about.
I don't like the cosine ones because it takes forever to plug in.
Yeah?
I like the cosine. It's annoying when you mess up and then you gotta redo it. Like sometimes you just can't really fix it, so you just gotta like delete the whole thing you wrote and then you gotta redo it.
Why can't you fix it?
Like sometimes, like I accidentally sometimes hit like the square button, like
Okay.
on something I can't really, like on something I don't want to square, and like I can't really, like I haven't found a way to like just get rid of that part.
Okay, so do you know how to pull up past stuff?
No.
Okay, so you can either like arrow up to highlight it and hit enter, and it retypes it in, or what I use is second enter. If you just keep spamming second enter, it just keeps pulling up the last thing that you typed in, the thing before, the thing before. But so then if you make a little mistake, you can just pull it back up and then just try to go and fix it. But it sounds like what you need is the delete key right here, DEL. You see that? If you, oops, if you put that over the square and hit it, it'll think you just want to change the exponent, but I think if you hit it again, it'll take the exponent away.
Oh, okay. I've never used the delete button.
Yep. And you know how to use the insert if you need to squeeze something in?
Isn't it second delete?
Yes. I mean, it's a lot easier to use delete and insert than it is to type it all out again, so. Certainly worth practicing.
I got in here late. What were the things that, what formulas were you saying are going to be on the quiz?
Pretty much everything. Law of sines, all 6 versions of the law of cosines, the 3 versions of area, side, angle, side, and Heron's formula, and how to find S for Heron's formula. So
So we
pretty
don't
much
really
everything,
need to
but
memorize any formulas?
you do need to know when you can use each one.
Okay.
That would not be for you. Okay, has anyone found another question or two I can help with? Okay, seems like you're getting a little bit low on questions, but you guys still have quite a bit of time here, about 45 minutes, so that should be more than enough time to finish. Again, before you do call it quits for the day, consider turning them in the Google Classroom, and please jot down somewhere a reminder to yourself about the quiz on Monday. And if you do find that you have a question, of course you're welcome to come up here and ask, or call me over and I'll come help.
When we have these on the test, will we have like drawings? Or we have to draw them out?
It would be I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
The actual quiz should not be significantly harder than the practice quiz.
Okay, cool.
So I'm not going to say that there's not one that you shouldn't sketch a picture for,
Mhm.
but it shouldn't be one that's terribly difficult
Okay, cool.
to draw a picture. Are you worried about the bearings or something?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I can do them, I just don't like them that much.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I'm always interested. I mean, I've done them for so many years that, like, I don't know, I can't see, like, what is hard about them, so it makes it hard for me to help, but.